Arizona State Senator Wendy Rogers, a member of the Oath Keepers who also appeared in Nick Fuentes' White Nationalist America First PAC conference, has pushed a conspiracy in regard to the Buffalo shooting. The shooter in that case was fueled by racism and a belief in white replacement theory. So he showed up to a predominantly black neighborhood and shot and killed 10 black individuals and also injured 3 others in this mass shooting. Now, what did Wendy Rogers, a white nationalist herself, have to say about it? Well, she posted on social media, "Fed Boy Summer has started in Buffalo," taking a page out of Alex Jones's book to push this theory that it was a false flag. She's an elected lawmaker in the state of Arizona. She is a state senator in Arizona. And if you think she's the only unhinged right-wing lawmaker in the country, you'd be mistaken, because on a federal level, we have others who are just openly pushing the racist white replacement theory. And we'll get to them in just a second. Cenk.
Yeah, she's also deeply anti-Semitic, and so is the Great Replacement Theory. She has posted several anti-Semitic memes before, including when they were attacking CPAC, which is a massively right-wing organization, but they think it's not racist and right-wing enough, and so in it they put a Star David on it. She's talking about George Soros like Tucker Carlson does, like the shooter in Buffalo did. Oh, the guy who's actually controlling things and looking to replace us. And then has all these conspiracies because he's the puppet master. It is the oldest libel there is, and it's directed at the so-called Jews who control us. She's deeply anti-Semitic, deeply racist. And by the way, if she's reelected, so is all of her constituents. Not all, but the ones that voted for her are saying, yes, I like this anti-Semitism. I like a lunatic representing me because I'm just as stupid and crazy as she is. And by the way, if you look at the polling on the Republican side, it's a giant chunk of them. We'll talk about that in a second, because it's what's driving these politicians Anna's about to tell you about. So
she has in the past retweeted a push to celebrate Confederate generals on MLK Day.
On MLK Day.
Yep, on MLK Day.
Racist. I was gonna add
I hear you.
Else.
Like, honestly, what has become the most challenging part of doing this show, aside from the subject matter, which is deeply depressing, is not being able to curse in response to the subject matter. Now, just to give you another example of how extreme she is, here is another post of hers where she writes, "OAN is the best, but is being banned. Newsmax is now Fox News. Fox News is now CNN. CNN is now MSNBC. MSNBC is now Soviet Central Television."
They're so corporate, that's hilarious.
They are getting worse, she argued. She's just like worms for brains, insanely hateful person. In fact, all these outlets that are hateful on their own aren't hateful enough for her. But I want to go to other elected lawmakers here, because this is a huge problem that we're starting to see with mainstream Republican lawmakers, including Elise Stefanik from New York. So she has pushed the white replacement theory, not by name. She uses the same language in some of her political ads. A series of Facebook ads published in September of 2021 by Stefanik's campaign committee charged that Democrats were allowing undocumented immigrants into the United States as a ploy to outnumber and eventually silence Republican voters.
Hey, racist, why don't you try to get Latino votes? What would be wrong with that? Why is a Latino vote any less than a white vote? Racist, Stefanik, you racist piece of crap. What are they replacing? What difference would it make if you were serving all of your voters? But you're saying, oh, no. If we have more Latinos or any other blacks or any other group, they would be replacing us. Who's us, Elise? Who's us? White people, you racist. Oh, are you gonna cry because I called you racist? You're not gonna cry about the 10 people massacred the other day. But I guarantee you, when we accurately show you how racist you are, then you're gonna say, oh, I'm the victim. No, by the way, Elise Stefanik was a very corporate, normal Republican.
Yep.
She became the #3 Republican when she raised her hand and said, I'll hate immigrants. I'll be as racist as any of you. And they said, congratulations, Elise. You're now promoted to #3 in the Republican Party in the House.
Yeah, and she referred to immigrants coming into the country as a permanent election insurrection.
Why would it be an insurrection? Why don't you get their votes? Why wouldn't Republican ideology be deeply appealing to new immigrants? Pull yourself up from the bootstraps, work really hard. I mean, that seems like classic Republican, if you believe it, mythology and classic immigrant way of thinking. Oh, they're not right for you guys because they're not white. That is the only reason. And you're saying, I'm not saying it, you're saying I don't want the immigrant votes. Oh, they're gonna replace us good white people. They're okay. Anyone debating whether the Republicans are racist is either a total and utter fool or is lying to you on purpose.
And Matt Gaetz, he's one of the more dopier right-wing politicians, and he did use the words. This was in 2021 specifically to defend Tucker Carlson, who spews white replacement theory garbage on his show on a regular basis. Matt Gaetz defended him by saying Tucker Carlson is correct about replacement theory as he explains what is happening to America. The Anti-Defamation League is a racist organization, he argues.
Yeah, so ADL is fights against anti-Semitism, and they are trying to protect Jewish Americans from fascists. And the fascists are deeply bothered by it. And they say, no, it's the Jewish organization that's racist. It's us good white people who don't want to be replaced by immigrants brought in by Jews. We're not the racists, we're not the anti-Semites. Yeah, sure, if you say so. I'm not debating it anymore. 40% of Republicans say it might be time for violence, and boom, there's violence. Nearly 50% of Republicans say that they believe in the replacement theory. They either strongly believe in it or somewhat agree with it, okay? Nearly half of Republicans think that this deeply anti-Semitic, deeply racist theory is just a-okay. Well, we don't want white people being replaced in power. White people should always be in power. And then they will genuinely turn around and go, I'm not racist. You guys are a joke. Anyone who stays a Republican and says, oh, half my party is filled with racist people. Oh, no problem. And this, at least Stefanik's number 3 in the House, no problem. Tucker Carlson, #1 show for right wingers, no problem. If you say that's not a problem, and all the horrible things that Donald Trump has said, calling Mexicans rapists and criminals, saying we should ban all Muslims, saying he can't tell who was right in the Charlottesville case. Good people on both sides, on the Nazi and the non-Nazi side. If you still are a Republican, you love that racism, just admit it. Be honest for the first time in your life. All Republicans are bastards.
And finally, just a few other lawmakers. There's Representative Scott Perry. He's the current chairman of the conservative House Freedom Caucus. He said during a subcommittee hearing examining migration from Central America last year that many Americans believe we're replacing national-born American, native-born Americans to permanently transform the political landscape of this very nation. Look, yes, it's racism, there's no question about it, but it's about power and the fear of losing power and the fear of what happens to racist white people in the country once they do lose power. They're worried about reaping what they sow.
As we've said 100 times, don't worry, you idiots. We're not evil like you. You people are evil and immoral. And you don't believe in equality, you don't believe in justice. And all you ever want to do is keep everyone else down under your thumb because you get off on it. That's what sick, evil, immoral people like Republicans do. We on the left have no plan on doing that. Unlike you treasonous people, yes, partly based on January 6th, partly based on the fact that you hate democracy, but mainly based on the fact that you avowedly say you don't want equality, you want only white people to be in charge. Don't worry, we're not monsters like you. We actually believe in equality. Under no circumstances would we ever allow discrimination against white people, because that would be against our core principles, because we're actually Americans. You, on the other hand, you've always been on the side of the Confederacy, Republicans. You've always hated this country and its founding principles. The only thing you liked was the racism that existed before, and you're desperately trying to hold on to that. Don't replace us, we want to be the ones in power. We love being racist right-wingers in power, don't replace our power. I hope to God that we replace your power, because it has been used for sick, immoral, and evil purposes the entire history of the nation, including today. Get rid of all Republicans, they're all bastards. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.